What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Chris, man. We are here at the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. It is Wednesday, July 9th, 2025. My name is Chris Drummond. I am a freelance sports reporter based out of Minnesota here and proprietor of this podcast, Work Hard, Play Harder, where I bring individuals on to talk about their why and get to know them outside of their occupation. I got a special guest that's going to be coming on with me today, and we are going to invite her on. She's a sports anchor and sports reporter, and she's going to be a part of my podcast. And we're going to talk to her about why she got into sports journalism, and we're also going to talk to her about her why as well. So I'm looking forward to breaking bread with her and talking with her. So she will be on with us shortly. So no question. Appreciate you hopping on. I'm gonna wave to you, no doubt about that. So yeah. Shortly, she will be on here, rocking out with me, talking with me. I love talking to different reporters. I love talking to different people in the media, not just reporters, but people in media that want to share their stories. We're so used to going to get the stories that um, we don't get a chance to talk about ourselves. So I love the fact that we get to talk about ourselves and be able to have peaceful conversations like that. So, without any further ado, I introduce to you the wonderful, talented, and the beautiful McKenzie Kane. Let's see. Is she rocking with me? Is she on with me?
Can you hear me
What's
all right,
up? What's
Chris?
going on? How we
I'm
doing?
doing great. How are you?
I'm doing good. It is wonderful to see your face. You look absolutely lovely tonight. Just
Thank you
want to
very
say that
much.
first off.
Can you hear me
Um,
all right? I'm testing out some new headphones.
Oh yeah, girl, I hear you loud and clear.
Perfect.
There's no question
Perfect.
about it. Okay, first off, I want to say thank you for coming on this live with me and coming on to my podcast, Work Hard, Play Harder. I really do appreciate it. And then the next thing I want to ask you is, how was your 4th of July weekend, and how has your week been going so far?
Honestly, the 4th of July was a little quiet, which is kind of what I needed.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up visiting one of my old teammates over in Jupiter. We did a lot of grilling. We did a lot of kicking back and lounging. And honestly, it's exactly what I needed.
I love that. I love that. That's amazing. No question
How about
about
you?
that.
How was your 4th?
Fourth was pretty. I worked on the actual 4th of July, so I did work on that, but got a chance to see some fireworks. I haven't seen fireworks in like a minute, so some coworkers kind of invited me out. I was like, okay, cool. I'll go out and see fireworks with you guys. And then Saturday and Sunday, I had off, so
Oh,
it was
nice.
pretty cool. Pretty cool. I did some stuff around the house. And yeah, I just relaxed and also, cooked a little something, something too. I,
Love
I,
to
I definitely
hear
like. Oh yeah, definitely like to do that for
it.
sure. Prior to me peppering you with all these questions, Mackenzie, I want to reiterate to you why I wanted to have you on my podcast. And that's one, I know you're a sports anchor and sports reporter. You're on the grind. You've been doing your thing. I know you're a former collegiate athlete from Washington and Lee. You used to play golf as well. I know that. So we definitely going to get into that. That's for sure. But I love talking to different reporters, people that's in the media industry, because I love talking to them about their why. It's so unique to have an opportunity to be able to talk about ourselves, because we're so used to getting the sources. We're so used to getting information for people that we don't get a chance to sit down and talk about ourselves. So I want to be able to hear your story, because everybody's story is unique and different, and your story is just as special. So again, I really do appreciate you allocating your time to me to come on my podcast and be here. And with that being said, I will ask you the first question of
Oh
many,
gosh, I'm ready. I'm ready.
which is, what is your why? Why do
Whew.
you do what you do? Did you have any role models, any inspirations growing up? But ultimately, what led you into a career in sports journalism?
It's a great question, Chris. To be honest, I didn't find my why, as you say, until college when I made up my mind that I didn't want to do like the sports sales aspect of it, the sports marketing, and I actually wanted to dive into media. That's what I truly found my love in.
Hmm.
I ended up actually pitching the idea of having a sports reporter at our school because we really didn't have any sort of established sports program. We didn't really have a sports culture on campus. And
Okay.
if we did, it was really small. So I really wanted to help spread this passion that all these Power Five schools have for their athletics, for their sports, and their campus athletes that I didn't see walking
Right,
around at a D3 school, especially. So I
right.
wanted to be able to tell stories. I wanted to get to know athletes outside of just what their position was on campus, whether you were the starting quarterback or if you were our star point guard. I wanted to know what your life was like, what got you to that moment, what your story was, exactly what you're doing with this podcast.
Hmm.
Um, and I wanted to be able to inspire more people to attend games and just develop a love for the Generals because we had some incredible athletes, some incredible programs, and it was exciting for sure.
Absolutely. If anybody's ever taken a chance to, which I did, took a chance to look at your sports like real as far as anchoring and reporting goes, they could see that you're very passionate about what you do, very passionate about the Generals, which is your school,
Yeah.
and very talented as well. So I love that why for sure. Now, is was Jupiter where you grew up?
No, I was born and raised in Connecticut and then moved down to
Mm.
Tampa Bay actually about 10 years ago, give or take. And
Okay,
I'll actually be headed up to Tennessee. So I'm kind of splitting the difference between the two in a
okay,
couple of days, actually.
okay. So what part of Tennessee? 'Cause my favorite part is Nashville.
See, I wish I was in Nashville, believe me. But I'll be over in Johnson City, so I'll be pretty close to,
Yeah.
a lot of country music, a lot of NASCAR, baseball, ETSU football. So I'll get my fair share of sports around there.
Yes, you will. No question about that. Very familiar. I was in Atlanta, Georgia for about a decade, so I definitely know Tennessee very well. So if you need any kind of tips, please holler at your boy.
Absolutely,
I got you. No question about that. You went to Washington and Lee University, which is, if I'm not mistaken, in Lexington, Virginia.
that's right.
Talk to me about were there any other schools that could have persuaded you from going to Washington and Lee University?
It's a good question. Um, to play golf, no. I peaked sort of in high school when it comes to my athletic ability on the golf course, and Washington Lee was the only one to really give me an official offer. There were plenty of schools that financially would have helped a lot in terms of not paying out of state tuition. So, I mean, University
Sure.
of Florida, especially that I got into there, I knew they had a great program. I didn't want to go to a school with 60,000 kids. I also didn't want to go to a school where 80% of the people I graduated in high school I'd see back on campus. I wanted to go to a
Hmm.
place where I kind of had that fresh start. I wasn't going to run into someone I just had homeroom with the past 4 years. Um, and honestly, I couldn't pick a better school than Royal Blue and White. I wanted school colors that I could rep for the rest of my lifetime and feel pretty confident in.
Now,
Everyone
did
looks
now
good in blue and white.
No doubt, no doubt about that. I love me some blue and white, no question. Now, did you have a scholarship or was you a walk on to the golf team?
So they actually don't give out scholarships for D3 programs, which
Wow.
sucks. But
Mm,
I was given an official roster spot out the gate. When I ended up going to Virginia, I realized that Virginia golf is a heck of a lot different than Florida golf because they have
sure.
these things called mountains that I now had to deal with that I don't have in Florida. So I had to learn
Right.
how to navigate the course a little differently. Um, and then the talent in our recruitment class, I mean, we only carried 10 people on the golf team. We had five my freshman year recruitment class. So we
Wow.
were building a brand new team. And there was a lot
Hmm.
of young talent. I kind of knew where I stood when it came to that golf program. I knew that my teammates were coming into this, next chapter, collegiate golf, with a little more skill in their bag than I had. I was a really long hitter. I wasn't a very consistent hitter. So
Mm,
I ended up kind of just becoming this big cheerleader for the team, wanting them to always succeed, knowing that hey, every single conference title they bring back, my name's still on the roster. I'm still getting
right.
those accolades too. I could call myself a team conference champion. I know I didn't
Absolutely.
contribute as big in the numbers aspect, but I feel like I did a lot for team morale.
Do you still play?
Oh, of course. I mean, I as much as I want to, no. Do I still play those bags? That my golf clubs will never retire.
Okay, I love that. I do play as well. I'm pretty damn terrible, though. I'll admit to that. I'm pretty awful, but that's okay. It's very relaxing, and it's one of the places where you can have a cold beverage and play the
Yep,
sport at the same
and it gets
time.
you
So I
out in
love that.
nature too.
Absolutely, no question about that. So I love that. I totally do. Mackenzie, I'm going to ask you some favorite questions,
I'm
and
ready.
you just give me the 411 off the rip based upon these questions. Okay, so here we go.
All right. Let me prepare.
Favorite
Let me
meal.
lock in.
Favorite
Pizza.
meal you like to
Pizza.
cook.
Oh, that I like to cook. Ooh,
Yes.
I love making chicken pot pie. That's my go-to. I know that's
Wow.
kind of crazy because I always love to bake, so I try to figure out what recipes I could get away using baking tactics to make. And chicken pot pie has always been my favorite, and my family favorite too.
Okay, chicken pot pie. Can't go wrong with that. I'm a huge taco person, so I love
Okay.
tacos. Doesn't matter if it's turkey, ground, steak, or chicken. I whip it up pretty good. So yeah, okay, I like that. Favorite concert you've ever attended?
Ooh, my first concert. I haven't gone to many. My first concert was Foreigner, so it was 80s rock and roll, and it
Wow.
was fantastic. It was July, maybe 2, 3 years ago, and I'll never forget it. We had seats on the
Okay.
lawn. We didn't even have real seats. We were sitting in
Okay.
grass, and it was perfect.
Okay. I'm with you on that. I would say I love music, all kind of music. No question about that. But one of my favorite concerts was The Weeknd. No question
The
about that.
weekend. See,
The Weeknd.
on my bucket list, because I missed the opportunity because the artist I wanted to come see was actually playing at Tropicana Field after one of the games, but I was already back at school and I couldn't miss the preseason practices, so I was
Mm.
so mad. But T-Pain came to Tampa, and I would have desperately wanted to see him.
Oh, he's definitely great live. No question about that.
Oh,
He is.
I believe it.
But you also mentioned the field in Tropicana Field. I'm trying to go to all 30 of the baseball stadiums. I've been to about 14 of them. I have
Okay.
not been to Tropicana Field though. I've heard very good things about that field.
That you're talking to the wrong people then, because they actually ranked. I think MLB ranked all of the baseball fields in the country, and we are always dead last every year. It's
What?
crazy. I know.
Oh
We can't
wow.
even get our own fan base to come out. Team's great. It's just an inconvenient location. Right now, we're not even playing at Tropicana Field because we had the hurricane come in and they tore up the roof. So we're playing
Yeah.
over at the minor league stadium or the AAA stadium. But it's a
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Chris, man. We are here at the Work Hard, Play Hard podcast. This is part two. We were having some technical difficulties with McKenzie's equipment and what's going on, but we are now back in full effect. I am going to bring her back into the fold. Again, it's McKenzie Kane. She's a sports anchor, sports reporter. She was doing so for the past 4 years in college. She will now be beginning her new job under those same roles at Johnson City, Tennessee. So without any further ado, I introduce you to wonderful, talented, and the beautiful McKenzie. We were answering some this or that questions, and we were answering. All right.
Okay. See, it's
Uh,
all technical difficulties today. It's crazy.
yeah.
We
Okay.
got, we're
Girl,
good.
I can hear you now. That's what's up. That's
Perfect.
all that
All
matters.
that
I love
matters.
that.
See, it's all the problem solving we have to do in this gig, right?
Absolutely. No question about it. We're going to keep things rolling, though,
Let's
baby.
do it.
Now,
Okay.
listen,
To answer your
Beyonce
question, we're
or
going like we
Rihanna?
do it.
Beyonce or Rihanna?
I'm going Rihanna.
Going
I'm
Riri.
going, I'm
Okay.
going Riri. She
Okay.
she was the person I would always plug in whenever I needed to lock in on my math homework growing up. She was the one who helped me get through it.
I love that. I love that. Okay. Which music concert would you rather go see? Would you rather go see Lil Wayne or Eminem?
Oh, Lil Wayne. I mean, Eminem would be cool. Lil Wayne's a performer.
Okay. I got you on that. I'm with you on that. I like that. Which music concert would you rather go see? Would you rather go see her or SZA?
Her. Oh, that would be fun. I mean, SZA would
Ooh.
be really cool, but give me her.
Okay. You going against the grain right there, girl. You know,
I
most people
know.
would pick SZA.
I,
Okay.
I've got a I've got a soft spot for her. She's the voice. It's hard to find.
Okay. Last one of the concerts of this or that. Which music concert would you rather go see? Dua Lipa or Ariana Grande?
Probably Dua Lipa. Probably Dua
Okay.
Lipa.
Okay. I'm with you on that. That's what's up. I like
Good
that.
deal.
Which sport would you rather watch on TV? Baseball or hockey?
On TV, probably baseball. Probably
You
baseball.
sure? You sure?
It's a true like 51-49 for me because I think hockey in
Mm.
person is unmatched, but I think I'd go baseball for TV.
Okay. Now, which sport would you rather play? Badminton or bowling?
Badminton. Oh, I love a good racket sport. I remember the badminton
Wow.
unit in middle school.
Okay. You know, I'm pretty good in badminton. I just want
Yeah,
to throw that out there. Yeah, I'm
I
pretty
suck.
good now.
I suck
Okay.
at bowling. I'm terrible at bowling.
Oh, well, I'm not very far behind you from the suck category. That's for sure. I don't need bumpers, though. I don't need bumpers. Do you need bumpers?
Oh, I need bumpers. Give me all the help I can get.
Yeah, we can't do bowling in public. We can't have we bowling in public, girl.
Oh, I'm a
No,
big Wii bowler though. I'll go crazy with Wii bowling.
right. You know how they do the we bowling? They throw the ball against the wall and the
Oh
ball
yeah.
be going like, yeah, we can't do that in public. I feel you on that. That's what's up though. Do you like desserts?
Oh, big time.
Okay, so here we go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna name four categories of desserts. You have to choose one of these that you'll
Ooh.
never eat again. So here we
Okay.
go. The first one is candy.
Okay.
The next one is cookies. The next one is ice cream. And the last category is grouped together, cake slash pies. Which one are you getting rid of?
It's between candy or cookies for sure. I'm gonna say candy. I'll get rid of candy.
Girl, you on point like a period. I like that
I'll
right
get rid
now.
of candy.
I
Yeah.
would have said the same thing.
Fresh
Now,
baked cookies, they can't compete.
right. Now, let me know what is your favorite cookie?
You can't go wrong with just classic chocolate chip. That was the staple in our household, so I'll stick with the classics.
Okay. Well, I love me some chocolate chip. I'm gonna just go different to be different, and one of my favorites is gingerbread.
Okay, I can respect
Yeah,
that for sure.
yeah. Love gingerbread. Okay. Do you like potato chips?
Not re- I'm one of the only Americans that I know that just hates potatoes in all forms. So I don't do French fries, mashed potatoes, baked potatoes, potato chips. I know that's my hottest take by far.
What?
I know.
A hot
That's
take,
the crazy part.
girl. Girl, that's hot garbage. What you mean you don't like no potatoes? You don't
It's
like none of
just
that?
the flavor of potato is displeasing to me. It's crazy.
Do
So
you at least like mac and cheese?
those are not the same. You cannot equate potatoes and mac and cheese. Mac and cheese is in a category of its own. Absolutely.
But Mackenzie, they both starches. That's why I said they're both starches though.
They're not. They're not. They are, but not to me. It's the potato flavor for me. Can't do it.
Okay, okay, here we go. Then I'm gonna ask you some bonuses, this or that, as far as concerts. Okay,
Okay.
which music concert would you rather go see? Okay, would you rather go see Casey Musgraves or Carrie Underwood?
Carrie Underwood. Give me the classics.
Okay, I like that. I like how definitive you're being too.
Yeah.
That's really nice. I
Well,
like
I
that.
mean, bet one of the best voices in all of country music. One of the most powerful female singers. Give me Carrie Underwood.
Okay, I got you. Here we go. Which music concert would you rather go see? Monica or Brandy?
See, I don't have a strong opinion either way on that one. That's hard. I'm gonna probably lean
Mm.
Monica, but I don't have a strong opinion either way.
I got you. I got you. That's a little bit older for the R and B kind of thing. They're coming out with the Boy Is Mine tour. That's for sure. Which is nice with Kelly Rowland. So yeah, I'm excited about that because I normally don't get excited too much about R&B concerts, except
Mhm.
it's Alicia Keys. Alicia Keys is really
Sure.
good. But yeah, they're coming out with their own tour. Okay, I like that. You did pretty good on the this or that,
I'll
except
take
when you
it.
said, except your potato take. Your potato take trash. But other than that, everything
Sorry.
else was good. Everything else was great. No question. I love asking this next question, especially to reporters, and that is, give me a top four bucket list of events or stories that you would like to cover in your career, and I'll give you mine just for an example, while you think of yours, I would like to do the Olympics.
Mhm.
I would like to do the World Cup. I would like to do a national championship game or playoff game. Doesn't matter if it's football or basketball. And I want to do the NBA Finals. That's my top four. The Super Bowl I crossed off. So yeah.
Yeah, there you go. You crossed off Super Bowl. I
Hmm.
would love to do, I mean, Olympics would be awesome, especially gymnastics. I think being in that atmosphere would be unmatched. I mean, Super Bowl, top of the top, absolutely. I'm gonna say, I mean, give me the Masters. Give me the pinnacle of golf and its finest. So Masters Championship would be insane for me.
Hmm.
And okay, this one, I'm not sure if you had anyone say this before. This is gonna be too specific, but if Washington and Lee ever gets into a national championship game, I am taking the day off and I'm going to that and I'm going to cover it for them. I don't care what sport. It could be equestrian, it could be football. We'll see if we ever get to that point in football, but if Washington and Lee, any national championship contender for WNL.
Okay. Well, you got to rep your school. So I love that. I love to do that. I mean, I would feel the same way about Kennesaw State University. If they ever got to a national championship game, that would be amazing to go and cover that for sure. I can tell you the Super Bowl Media Day, the first day I was there was absolutely insane. There were 6,000 of us, media members. And what they did was, how they have the booths. They only have the booths for about 12 players.
Oh,
That's
no
it.
kidding.
So only the booth for about the other 40 plus players are walking around with the media, and the media are talking to them in this little like small bubble of a space that they provide. It's absolutely insane. It was so crazy to be able to talk to not only media members but also be there and look at and watch the players and ask them questions and talk to them. I loved it, and they had so many events too. I think you would absolutely love the Super Bowl. I'm hoping that in some case that you are able to go because I will be at the Super Bowl next year, which is in San Francisco. I'm hoping to see you there. That'd be great. That'd be
I
amazing.
believe me, I wish I could. I don't know how easily I could convince the people in Tennessee. Maybe if the Titans make a run into the Super Bowl, I
Oh,
could
for
convince them to
sure,
let me go. But
for sure.
we'll
Yes.
see.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the Masters also did that as well. Being in Georgia, going there and helping out and covering that I mean, that golf course is historic,
That's
it's special.
pristine, I know. Definitely.
No question about it there in Augusta. So, yeah, I think you will love those for sure. No question. If you ever need any tips or anything about that, please,
For
again,
sure.
don't hesitate to hit your boy up for sure. This next top four have to do with I want to say, give me a top four of list of stories that you did in college that were memorable to you.
Hmm. Number one, by a long shot, honestly, will always be Mary Slicner. She was our star basketball player for the women's team. She led the NCAA in double doubles. She has the NCAA tournament record for most rebounds in a game. She had a flu game. It was, I think, 42-28, which was
Hmm.
insane. And I sat her down, and for my final project for my sports journalism class, I did a 30 for 30 on her. And we just
Okay.
sat down, asked her everything about her story. It was probably an hour and a half conversation that I had to cut down into 30. But my favorite fun fact is the fact that she had no intention of playing basketball in college. She didn't get any
Wow.
offers. She was going to run track or cross country, and she just happens to come in, dedicate her time to being an athlete, to being a good basketball player, and just swept the NCAA. It's awesome. Always going
Okay.
to be a fan of that story. Then I also did a feature story on two brothers for the football team, where our starting quarterback, our sophomore starting quarterback, was the little brother of our defensive coordinator. And I had done a podcast interview earlier the year prior when the defensive coordinator had told me, "Yeah, no, my little brother's coming into the school. I'm excited to help coach him." And then I got to do an actual story on the fact that we've got siblings on the team. Nobody on the campus knew that they were related.
That's
Not
pretty
many
cool.
people realized it.
Wow.
So, because they're polar opposites. One of them's overly energetic, kind of plays into the goofy personality type. The other one's kind of quiet and super sweet guy, but sort of stays within his friend group. So the fact that they are brothers and they're polar opposites, it was fun to capture that on camera into that 90-second story. Um, Another package I did also on that sibling route were these two sisters who are dual sport. Well, they're actually a part of a family with, I think, four siblings. Some of them are triplets, some of them are twins. I'm not sure because it was such a big family tree. But two of them were dual sport athletes for two different teams. So they both played on the soccer team and they were studs on the soccer team. And then they both played on the women's basketball team. And they were studs on the basketball team. But the problem is, soccer went so far into the post game season that they had to miss the first 6 games of the regular basketball season. And
Wow.
one of them's a junior, the other one was a freshman. So I was kind of curious to see if the freshman was turning to the junior for advice on how to manage that stress or that feeling that am I missing out on all the team dynamics, that core team bonding within the first 6 games. They had a loss within those first 6 games, so I didn't know if any of them felt like that was weighing on their shoulders because one of them was a starter. But that was definitely one of my favorites. And then I think for my last fourth slot, I'm gonna go with, I mean, maybe our bowl game coverage. We won our first bowl game for football this past year, and I use the term bowl game a little loosely because at D3, I'm not sure if you could really call it a bowl game, but I ended up changing my flight for Thanksgiving break because everyone was already home. I wanted to stay so I could see that bowl game, see the
Wow.
players, and interview them afterwards. And my final question to every single person I interviewed is, "What's the first thing you're putting on your plate in the Thanksgiving table, in that line for Thanksgiving?" So that was a lot of fun to
Hmm.
see all these guys, celebrate their first bowl game win. It was kind of a blowout too. We were in an actual stadium. We were in Salem, and it was a blast because I got to see the Generals bring home a title that they had never brought home before, and I got to be there in person when no one else
That
from the
is
school was there.
that is pretty damn cool to be able to do that, and obviously over Thanksgiving break for
Over
you to be
Thanksgiving.
changing your plans up. That's pretty cool as well. I love that. I love those top four. That's pretty
And I like
dope.
the comment too. Bowl is bowl. That's true. Doesn't matter what level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta listen. We gotta represent D1, D2, D3. We gotta represent all of them for sure. All the divisions. Team is team. You've earned your bowl, and listen, when you win, you deserve to celebrate, and I love that. So that's what's up.
And I got a T-shirt out of it too. That was the best part. I got to walk home with the same celebration T-shirt all the other players were getting.
Okay. Well,
It was
yeah.
a,
I
it was a
mean,
double XL, but it was awesome
I'm about to say, okay. I was about to say, yeah, it probably was a big T-shirt, but at the same time,
for
that's what's
sure.
up. I
It's
like that.
perfect.
I like that. Um, you did a interview with Rondé Barber.
I
Talk to
did.
me about how that interview came about. What did you guys talk about in the interview? And yeah, just how was that experience for you?
Sure. So Rondé and I were old golf buddies too. He's always been a big donor of this youth organization I sort of grew up in with golf, and we've known each other for probably 10 years now. That's what he had told me. It was kind of funny. I walk in to sit down, and Rondé sees that my list of questions printed out, and he's like, "McKenzie, you've known me for 10 years. What do you need questions for? Just
Right,
talk."
right.
Which I appreciate because it also kind of lightened the mood too, that I'm not, interviewing a Hall of Famer. I'm interviewing a friend of mine. So that was good to learn early on. We chat about everything from the brotherly dynamic, the twin dynamic growing up in the household. What sort of, what were those areas of competition between him and Tiki? We talked about what it meant for him getting in the Hall of Fame. I was curious if he rubbed it in Tiki's face at all, his Hall of Fame jacket, his Super Bowl ring. He said, "No, no, he's taken the wins collectively. They live vicariously through one another." We talked about, how people always underestimated him for his size and what
Sure.
he did to try and level the playing field by, capitalizing on his instincts and his legacy that he wanted to leave as a player and a teammate. It's honestly one of my favorite conversations I've ever had. We chatted for probably 45, 50 minutes. It was insane, but
Wow.
awesome
Okay.
guy.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Sounds like you had a lot of fun doing that. Now, you talked about it earlier about a podcast that you have, I believe. Talk about your podcast that you do, or if you still do it, and what's the name of it, and what kind of guest and length of time a podcast that you normally do.
Sure. So the podcast I started it as an assignment for class because that was our
Hmm.
final project. We had to make a podcast. And I
Sure.
took one of the assistant coaches for football, sat him down, and we just gabbed away for 3.5 hours. It was insane. I ended up not wanting to submit a 3.5 hour podcast for my final project. I chopped it on down to about 45 minutes. And then next thing you know, I had another one of the assistant coaches come and ask me, like, why not me? Why'd you choose him and not me? So I had to invite him out down. We sat together, asked him a couple questions, realized that I really love doing this. So I ended up asking my mom for Christmas and my birthday if I could get a podcasting set. I actually had it right here, so I was gonna set up the microphone in case I needed it for this interview. But I've
Sure.
got the mics, I've got the soundboard, I've got headphones. It's definitely my pride and joy. I like to travel with it in case I ever run into someone I can get on the pod. This past week, I was interviewing Mike Tirico, which was insane. I
Yep,
interviewed
I
Joe
saw that.
Giordano of NASCAR. Yesterday was John Gruden. Today was Rondé Barber. I'm getting people that, frankly, I've got no business having interviewed, but it's a blast. I have it streaming on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, primarily because a lot of what I do are video casts. So I try to do the video for YouTube, and then I'll export the audio for the streaming platforms, and then I do whatever I can to post clips to socials.
I love that. I do. That is amazing. Absolutely amazing. I would love to take part in that if you ever have the time to do that, or
Sure.
because I
The
always
theory
love.
though is I've got a full-time job come 5 days
I
from now.
know.
That's
I know.
terrifying.
I know. Listen, and mind you, I think you will be great. You just have to kind of squeeze in. Now it's kind of squeezing in different times of the podcast, along with sleep and prep and all that. But I think you still be able to get at least a couple episodes in and stuff like that for sure because you just seem so passionate about it. And I love that. Plus, you're going to a nice market in Tennessee.
True.
Where you're going to get some new people on there and maybe some new athletes, and that'd be amazing to have that. But I love supporting people in their podcast form, so yeah, I definitely will hop on anytime for sure. What is some advice that someone has gave you that you hold on dearly to?
Honestly, the advice that I'd said earlier about don't look at other people as competition, that was something that was told to me that I sort of
Mhm.
internalized, but I'm not going to cop out and give the same answer twice. So I've got to think a little deeper. Um, so many times I've heard people tell me, don't be afraid to hear no, because I mean, I've asked a lot of big names, hey, can I stop you really quick to ask you a couple questions? Can we do this podcast interview? And frankly, I've
Mhm.
heard yes more times than I probably deserve, but I have gotten a couple of no's. I have had some people say, like, who are you? Like, why would I say yes?
Right,
And it was good training because they're right. They're right to be skeptical. Like why bother saying yes? Why who am I to ask them any questions?
right.
So it's learning to navigate that. And honestly, I mean, reps are everything. I look at myself 2.5 years ago. I was bad at this. I sucked on camera. It was kind of painful to look back and watch, but it's also kind of eye-opening to see one how quickly you can pick up on the trade if you really do work at it. But
Mhm.
also there's sometimes nowhere else to go but up, and the longer you work at it, the better you'll get. And honestly, just because you go to a small school like Washington and Lee, we had 1,800 people in our entire school.
Wow,
Doesn't
that's
mean
definitely
you
small. Wow.
that's small. Doesn't mean you can't still follow your passions and have a career in a big market. I think a lot of people, or at least I always thought, girls especially coming out of small schools who want to pursue sports broadcast, they're going to be at a disadvantage from those who came out of the SEC, who came out of a Power Five conference. But honestly, one of my biggest role models is Kaylee Hartung. She graduated from Washington and Lee. She's doing Amazon Prime Thursday Night Football. And if anyone
Mhm.
can make it to the big market, it's someone who came out of small town Lexington.
Absolutely, definitely know who she is. She's very talented for sure. Speaking of that, though, I want to get your perspective on this if you have any, and that is the inequalities of women's sports reporting.
Mhm.
And there are some inequalities. You do get the statement sometimes, well, women shouldn't be covering football because they never played, or sometimes the treatment may be a little bit differently. I know for me personally, when I was working in different publications, because I've been at this for about 7 years, there were times where I would go to section championships, state championships, and you would not see any women. You wouldn't see any women at all. And you definitely, if you do happen to get some women, you definitely wouldn't see any women of color. And that's for sure. Talk to me about, give me your perspective on maybe the inequalities of women's sports reporting as far as paid treatment and opportunities as well being allocated.
Sure. Honestly, it's a hard question for me to answer sometimes because I mean, I was kind of in a bubble in Lexington at Washington and Lee. I didn't have anyone else to compare myself to. I didn't have anyone else who was also a sports reporter at the same level that I was.
Hmm.
We had people who were working for the school who had graduated years ago, but they were actually employed by the school. I was just some student trying to learn the trade. And
Right,
I was so blessed because so many people really wanted to see me succeed because Washington and Lee hadn't had that reputation before as a sports school. So I was lucky that I didn't have that canon experience of someone telling me you're not good enough because you're a girl. And I
right.
know it's inevitable. It will come someday. I'm sure it'll come in my first market. I'll get a hate email by someone saying you've got no business talking about SEC football or just